Several major central banks have started to cut interest rates, including the US, UK, Europe, and New Zealand. But the Reserve Bank of Australia is standing out from the crowd. The RBA has left rates unchanged and is continuing to stress they are not ruling anything in or out. This is partly because Australia saw inflation spike later than the rest of the world and began tightening interest rates later than the rest of the world. Naturally, the reverse also comes a little later. However, there are some important areas where the Australian experience is a little different. One such example is the implementation of the Stage 3 tax cuts from 1st July this year. A significant boost to household spending power at a time when the RBA is grappling with above-target inflation. In fact, the boost to income is roughly equivalent to the impact of 3 25 basis point rate cuts on mortgage repayments. Importantly, the RBA has long known about the Stage 3 tax cuts and has been able to integrate this into their forecast. Hence, Stage 3 tax cuts alone have not been cause for the RBA to cut rates later than its peers. They have, however, been an important reason for the RBA to remain more cautious. After all, a forecast is just a forecast, and reality can always deviate from what's expected. The RBA has been alert to the risk that consumer spending could turn out stronger than expected. This would complicate their goal of sustainably returning inflation to target. Households spending more of their tax cuts than the RBA expects is an obvious source of this risk. The good news for the RBA is the income boost from Stage 3 has so far been slow to translate into higher spending. That was one of the key findings from the latest analysis of the Westpac-DataX Consumer Panel. The new dataset, based on Westpac's extensive array of customer-level data, the panel uses de-identified data from over 1 million customers to paint a comprehensive picture of household income, spending, and saving. These financial flows are mapped to measures of household assets and liabilities and are stratified across different age cohorts, income levels, and mortgage status. Over the September quarter, household spending did increase solidly. However, the increase in spending was significantly smaller than the boost from tax cuts. We estimate that, so far, around 16% of the increase in income has been spent. The remaining income boost was directed towards savings and offset accounts and larger mortgage repayments. Lower income groups tended to spend more of the tax cuts, while the mortgage belt prioritised additional saving. Overall, the boost to spending appears to have been smaller than we, and very likely the RBA, anticipated. Consumer behaviour can easily change, often quickly, and households may eventually begin to consume more of the income boost from Stage 3. Black Friday sales in late November will be an important gauge of this and could provide the catalyst for a shift in behaviour. But for the time being, the Westpac-DataX Consumer Panel suggests the risks of a breakout in consumption remain well contained. This will help the RBA breathe a little easier as it nears the start of its own rate cut cycle at the start of next year.
The content of this recording is informational and of general nature only and is not intended to constitute a research report or reflect any recommendation or financial advice. It has been prepared without taking into account your objectives, financial situation or needs, and investment decisions should not be based on it. You should obtain your own independent advice before proceeding with any investment decision. Whilst every effort has been taken to ensure that the contents are correct and any opinions, forecasts, conclusions are reasonably held based on information at the date of recording, Westpac does not make any representation or warranty as to the accuracy or completeness of the statements or information contained in this recording, and any liability therefore is expressly disclaimed to the extent permitted by law. None of the material included in this recording should be copied, published or reproduced in whole or in part without the prior written permission of Westpac.